All right, mic check, people. What is going on? How we doing? Let's get into this, shall we? We've been live for long enough. Let's get this going, shall we? Get this. Let me get a little bit of this. Let me get a little bit of this. Let me get a little bit of that. All right. Okay, sweet. It says I'm live. Let's get going. Let's start it. All right. Whoops. What? Oh. Hey, you know what we can do? Hold on. Watch this. Ready? We can fix that. We can fix that right up. We can go like this. Oh, that looks perfect. That looks perfect. What's going on, guys? How we all doing? How we all doing? How's everybody doing? All right, let's get going. Let's get into this. We got a few things to talk about. Let me turn the volume way down. We got to turn the volume way down. You know what? We also got a hot mic. So mic is a little, it's a little dicey. It's a little dicey. Let me turn the mic down. Let me turn the mic down all the way. There we go. Let me close that out. Sorry, that's what we get for having a dicey mic here. If I ever have a, whatever they're called, like a tech shop where I own tech, probably spicy mics or something like that, like microphones. If I ever owned my version of like a Radio Shack or anything, I'd probably call it hot mics or something like that. All right, let's get into what we're talking about. I had to move the screen from men's hockey because I didn't want to spoil what was going on, because I had to delay just a little bit and stuff. What the heck? Hold on. And so that's why we're chilling on the NFL page. But here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk a little bit about the Frozen Four, and what I wanted to do with this stream is I wanted to go over a little bit of sports, and then depending on like how late, because I don't want to go too late, because either we do a huge full like long 2-hour sports stream, or we go half and half and we cut it in the middle, because I do want to do I do want to game a little bit. So yeah, if you guys like sports content though, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's get into it, shall we? I don't know what else we gotta. Let's get into it, huh? Let's get into it, shall we? Are we live? Why does it show it's buffering? What the heck's going on here, peeps? Are we buffering? Why are we buffering? I think we're good. Okay, let's go. I don't know why it's showing it's buffering. Okay, here we go. Let's go to the home page. We got golf, bro. I don't know. I don't know nothing about golf. If anybody knows anything about golf, let me know in the chat, because I don't know. All right, let's get into men's hockey. Here's the other thing too. I wasn't going to talk about this too much. I didn't want to talk about it because it's like we'll just see how. Oh dang, they don't have the cool setup, kind of like how it is with college football or like the NFL. But do not ask me who I predicted in any of these. Like this is bad. I picked a Big Ten national championship. I had Wisconsin against Michigan when I saw what the Frozen Four was, because I was like, yeah, how cool would it be to, see if Michigan did end up winning the national championship in the Frozen Four, like see them become an everything school, because that's been what everybody's been talking about lately. Is Michigan an everything school like Florida, or a handful of years back when LSU, like when LSU won the national championship with baseball, and then a couple years before, there was Joe Burrow with that LSU football team. But that would have been fun, and so I was kind of leaning that way of just like having an upset here, but then Michigan being able to get it done against Denver, considering if you've watched the Frozen Four, you know the history of how good Denver, not Boston College, who am I thinking of? Who won it in 23? Let me go look. Well, maybe it was just Boston. 2023. Quebec, Minnesota. Minnesota's been good for a little bit. About 22. Denver, Minnesota. Okay. So maybe I'm getting my stuff mixed up here. Then Western Michigan, they beat Boston. Yeah, there it is. Boston University. Because Boston's been good for a couple years. Not Boston College. Don't get it confused with the Eagles. But yeah, I didn't keep up with the March Madness Frozen Four type stuff just because, I was too busy following the basketball. But let's get into it. Let me give my thoughts and reactions to what we saw, because I thought we had some pretty good games, both overall. I think, I don't want to say it and I don't want to jinx it, where it's like, hey, we saw the national championship between Denver and Michigan, because that game was freaking phenomenal. But let's start first with what we saw out of Wisconsin and North Dakota. I was about to say North Dakota State. Whoops, pardon my French. But I was very impressed with, I think, overall, the whole theme of the night, goalkeeping. Because goalkeeping was absolutely superb in both games. And I would say MVPs go to both goaltenders, because the Denver game with Michigan, they set a record, but I think you wouldn't put a huge asterisk by it, but you would also mention the fact, hey, this went to double overtime. So yeah, you're going to have over 40 shots saved, which was pretty freaking phenomenal. And I noticed actually the Wisconsin game is different. I think Wisconsin had more shots on goal. Yeah, 22, 35, yeah. Okay. But the shot to shot ratio with the Michigan game in Denver, it was leaning Michigan's way heavy. Like, they shot so many freaking shots versus Denver that was half of it. But we'll get into it. But this one, it starts out 2-0, and then with how North Dakota's the 2 seed, a lot of people overlooked Wisconsin and didn't think they'd get this far. But I think there was a little bit of a play from behind kind of approach to it. And I'm actually really super surprised that Wisconsin was able to hold on to the lead for the whole game. Great saves. This final goal there towards the end, I mean, obviously with under a minute, like we're under a minute, 19 minutes and 8 seconds into the third. North Dakota also pulled their goalie. Very gutsy, because, I mean, how many times have we watched an NHL game where the goalie gets pulled and then, oh, look at that, we got an empty netter going the other way. Like the Avalanche tonight, they clinched the number 1 in the West in the Presidential Trophy. And like all the comments were talking about Nathan Empty Net McKinnon, because people who watch, if I'm not getting blacked out all the time because of Regency, I'd probably watch all these empty netters that Nathan McKinnon's making, but I can't, because ESPN Plus has blocked me from watching Calgary, Utah, gosh, who else? LA sometimes, but it will do Edmonton games. It'll do Edmonton games when they play Vegas sometimes, but then if Vegas goes and plays Boston and it's over in the East, it's like, nope, fetch it, you're still blacked out. And it's like, what the? Regency, it's weird. Like, the blackout restrictions, don't understand it, don't get it, but it doesn't matter. So, first game, awesome upset. And then we had a little halftime break where we waited a little bit and then went back to the Denver game against Michigan. I mean, it's not too out of pocket to say I think this was kind of hopefully the national championship can be just as entertaining as this game, because this game was fun. Denver started the scoring off 1-0, and then in just like with the swing of momentum, because of how, and the commenters talked about it a little bit, this might be what the scoring trend is and has been for Michigan. They score quick and they score in bunches, where at one point it was 1-0, and then we blink and look at that, it's 2-1, where Michigan was able to put 2 goals back to back in under a minute. Who? I don't remember who the goals were. Oh, Hughes and Iernisi. But yeah, as you can see, 16-18 and then 17-17. Then Ashcroft got involved in the second period. That's where his goal is. I'm not gonna lie. This goal, huge momentum shift, but I think ice kind of evens out after the first overtime. Not gonna lie, but so Michigan scored on the power play, because that was something that they were talking about during the intermission, is that Michigan with the power play has been phenomenal. Again, I will admit I haven't watched much college hockey, if any, so I'm just going to take the analytics and their point of view and go, yeah, you know what, they're probably right. Yeah, there was 3 minutes left in the game, and I thought, personally, I had that feeling of, okay, yeah, this is probably, because I don't know, I get that, yeah, college is a lot different than the NHL, where we're just scoring left and right, and guys are just, oh, look at that, there goes your lead. You had a goal, you had a 2-goal lead, 3-goal lead, and oh, look at that, it just blew up right there. But then, as we saw, the goal happened on a redirect, beautiful pass, kind of one of those, love the goals where it's like in front of the net, and it's just like you get a stick down, perfect pass, and then it just chips right in. Which, no discredit to any of the goalies. I think both goalies played absolutely phenomenal. Michigan's goalie had a lot of saves. Freaking Hicks, he had a huge, look at this, 52 saves. And this is where I'm kind of curious a little bit, and it was kind of my thoughts with the Wisconsin game against Dakota, is that not only was the goaltending perfect for Wisconsin, because yeah, throw away the last second goal in the final minute, but like the shots on goal, I think you would credit the goalie, but then also the defenseman for just clearing the puck, because you looked at the shots versus, like, North Dakota never got in the, sorry, I said South Dakota again, my bad. But North Dakota never got in the zone to get good looks. And I think with Michigan was owning the zone. How many times in overtime they just, like, Michigan was flooding them. It was crazy. In the first overtime, the refs were swallowing their whistles, which totally thought, you know what, this is good. Because there was a point where 2 guys got pinned up on the boards, a couple sticks were broken, and everybody in the crowd was just like yelling, you know, hey, where's the penalty? And like they played on, and only, like, I think it was the delay of game where the puck went out of the stands. I think that's when the penalty came, but that came probably maybe 30 seconds later, real time. But yeah, Michigan was owning the zone for that whole first overtime. And it kind of felt, okay, this is where they're going to score. This is where they're going to score. Hicks had a phenomenal pad side save, because there's a pass that just saucered over the middle, and like he just threw that leg out, got the huge save. We played the remainder 13 minutes of the first overtime, which both teams had great looks. There were a couple shots that went off the post. There were a lot of good looks for both teams. But then there in overtime, Ken Anderson buries it 4-3, and Denver moves on and plays in another, which I think the last time they were is 24, right? 2024 Men's National Championship. Not Maine. Men's Hockey National. Denver Pioneers against Boston College. Yep. Oh, so maybe Boston and Boston College are both phenomenal. Anyways, so then 25, we talked about this. This was Western Michigan and Boston. Boston University, yes, 6-2. where. And then I think Western Michigan beat Denver in overtime to get to this one. All right. What was 2-0? You know, I could see a low scoring game like this. Because 4-3 is a lot. I could see. I mean, both goaltenders played phenomenal. Even though, yeah, Michigan scored 3 goals, yes, but um, I think we could be looking at a 3-2 game, 3-1, just depending. I will probably pick Denver, just because I did pick Michigan winning it. I thought that would have been fun. So, you know, if you beat the team I predicted, it's like, well, might as well. Kind of, they've talked about it in the NFL. They've adopted this concept of how cool would it be, where in the playoffs, the team that you beat, you get to steal their best player and then move on to the next round. I kind of adopt that a little bit sometimes when I do predictions where, oh, I'll predict, you know, the Bills to beat the Ravens, and then it's like, oh, the Ravens beat the Bills. I guess I'll watch the Bills for the remainder of the playoffs, because that's kind of how it was with the Broncos. When the Broncos beat the Bills, I was like, well, if the Broncos beat the Bills, then Bills are probably getting to the Super Bowl. But then, boom, the Bo Nix's ankle decided, nah, I'll see you guys next year. All right. So that's my thoughts on the Frozen Four. Those are my predictions for the final. I'll take Denver. Be a little bit of a prisoner of the moment. Let's go around the horn. Let's talk about a couple things. I wanted to open this up and make a little skit for this potentially. I think there could be a lot of fun to do there. Because I was watching. Let me go look at. Hold on. Let me go look at. it. Hold on. The skit would be. I thought of a couple ideas. The skit would be. No! Maybe I liked it on. Hold on. Opens antitrust investigation. Yes, that's what. Okay, that's what it was going to be on. Is I'd do a funny skit where I'd talk about the NFL scheduling and stuff, where it's like, so you're telling me, and then like I'd have like a little paper, or I could do like a little spoof on American Psycho or something, where it's like, so you're telling me you have the Cowboys playing 10 primetime games, and it's like, that is correct. And in those 10, you know, and then it's like, how many years has this been? And I could be like, oh, it's been like that for over a decade. And it's like, have they ever won the Super Bowl? And then it would cut to like absolute silence and crickets of like, no, they haven't. Just kind of like that joke about like, if there is, you know, if they're probing of like TV deals and like, oh my gosh, why the hell? Because yeah, if you have followed the NFL the last decade, Cowboys, Chiefs, whatever team Rodgers is on, because dude, look at the Jets. The 2 years Rodgers was with the Jets, the year he got injured with the Achilles, they had to flex so many of those schedules because it's like, we are not watching Zach Wilson. Nope, we're good, and they've had to flex that out. But Lamar as well, so Ravens, and then I'd say yeah, the Bills too. And then because the Eagles have been to the Super Bowl twice and then also won one, you could throw the Eagles in there. But overall, like at that 10 mark where they would have Thanksgiving, potentially Christmas, a couple Sunday nights, a couple Monday nights. It was the Cowboys. But just do a dumb joke and a spoof on how. So you're telling me the TV's showing the Cowboys? Well, is it working? And it's like, no, it's not working. They haven't been since 19 something, and I could even make a spoof of it being like 19 and like show dinosaurs or something. I don't know. But yes, where is the other? It's not gonna talk about it, which I don't blame it. Let's talk. The other thing I was gonna do is I was gonna make a meme where I'd have this picture or this this picture, because there's a lot of news going on about the AJ Brown trade, and so I probably would have used that as the thumbnail. I don't know, or could have the caption. I've been off of the NFL media for 2 months. Did I miss anything since the Super Bowl? ? And it could have the yeah. Anyways, because that's been very loud lately. All right, let's get into the NBA. Also, if you're wondering too, with the NFL, I have made a mock draft. You can go laugh at it a little bit. It was the first one. Well, it's 1.0. It's not my final mock draft. Because I gotta dude, I haven't watched college football in 3 months, so, all right. Let's get into it. Saw that the Knicks beat the Celtics. Yeah, we had a couple potential round 2 teams playing each other today. We had the Knicks and the Celtics. Then you want to switch genres over to the. Where's my freaking water? Hold on. Give me 2 seconds, people. Let me get some water. Hold on. You switch genres over to hockey. The Wild and the Stars played today as well. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. Hold on. Sorry, people. Had to fix my chair thing. All right. Whoop. Where's the other? Hey, there it is. All right. Sorry, people. But I don't. Yeah. So we had this, but then also the Heat and the Star. Not the Heat. The Wild. Sorry. Wild and the Stars, which they can potentially. No, it's the Avs and the Stars, or the Avs and the Wild in the second round. Wild and the Stars. That playoff series is already set. I think right now they're battling over home ice, which with the Stars it doesn't matter, because you look at I don't know. I actually want to go. No, I'm not going to look it up. But like the Stars' record on home ice is actually worse in like the last handful of years, because when they got to the Western Conference Finals the last few times, it's been on the road. Like they beat the Avalanche one year, and yeah. All right, let's see. Lakers beat the Warriors. Okay, I think Curry was back for this game. I could be wrong. Nope. No, he wasn't. Yeah, nope. No, he wasn't. Why did I think he was back? I thought he was back. Okay. LeBron had 26. Bulls, Knicks, Celtics. How'd this one end? Oh, this one ended under the 2-minute mark. Interesting. Yeah, I think the Celtics' lack of a big is going to affect their series if they play the Knicks. Tatum 24, Brunson 25. Oh, all right. Okay, let's go to the MLB. We got to do a. I'm going to do a record. No, rankings. Probably going to do a rankings reaction to baseball. Just considering. I mean, dude, we had a freaking. We've had a brawl. We've had a whole bunch of stuff that I want to look at and look over. All right. And the city jerseys, they look alright. I saw a lot of memes about the Padres and the Rockford Peaches from A League of Their Own. I thought that was pretty funny when it's like introducing your new Padres City Connect jerseys, and it was the Rockford Peaches because if you ask a lot of people, they look bad, but I will admit I am one to. There's okay, like looking at. Here, let's go. Kind of a fan, but like not 1000%. Like with Texas's, for example. Oh, you can't even see it. Whoops. Hold on. Like it says Tejas, which like that's cool. Like Cincinnati's, I thought Cincinnati's was way cool. I still think it's cool. Um, even their um, like the C's cool. The black ones are cool. The Pirates one, super cool. Um, but like, the Rangers are red, so like yeah, it makes sense. Pirates staying with the black and gold looks good. Um, Reds staying with their Reds. Um, the Brewers going with Wisco. I don't know if that's a nickname they go by down in Brewerland. It's going by Wisco. Because they're not even the Wisconsin. Like I know they are from Wisconsin, obviously, but like they're not even referred to as the Wisconsin Brewers. Not even the Dodgers are referred to as like California's team. To have like Cali for a Dodge, I don't know. Um, but this blue is not one of their blues. Same with the San Diego, where it's like it's not your colors, but it's like oh, okay, like it's a stretch, but like the Astros, it's kind of like oh okay sure space whatever. At least they stayed with the blue that the Astros have. You know what I mean? Kind of weird in concept. Like, oh, okay. Like the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers have a space one too. Yes, kind of. See, it's not too crazy. It still stays in the blue realm. But like when you have like these ones were bad too. I didn't like them. It's because I don't know, man. Like it's weird. It's weird. If it goes back, oh, okay, this makes sense. It ties back to hair. Okay, heritage. Okay, okay. I look at it as okay. Let's do Padres. If I was making jerseys, this is just me, because we have their the brown, they're yellow and browns with the pinstripe. We got the white pinstripe. There's parts of me where it's like, let's put this, let's throw it back. Like, when have we seen a throwback Padres jersey? We haven't seen one of these in a while. This could look good as a City Connect jersey. That looked phenomenal. I'd even go as far to this eyesore. The camel one looks good too. But I think, yeah, you could do one where let's make it all yellow, kind of like all yellow, and then you have the pinstripes be brown. I think that would look good. Yeah, I'm kind of like there's parts of me if your color palette is brown, yellow, white, light brown, dark brown. I think the Padres could get away with a black jersey, just because, you know, black and brown. I think the Padres could probably get away with a maybe like a I don't even know how to explain it. Like a, see how this Padres, like it looks like it's a, like a light blue. I don't even know how to explain it. Like a blue, a bluish gray, like a baby blue, but not this blue. Um, I don't know. And then it could also get away with blue too, because those have been their colors in the past. You know, but like you throw a Padres jersey out there that's like red, and it's like, huh? Because some City Connect jerseys have done that. Like, let me show you. These, I think these are awful. I love the Phillies. Red is not. I mean, blue is not one of their colors. They only make it look good with their Philly blue jerseys. If I can spell, yeah, these look absolutely fire. But where does this come from? The baby blue history, the history of who Philadelphia was and their team. Like it connects back to that. This new, hey, we got to come out with a new, you know, Philly jersey for the connects and all that, blah blah blah. Like it just, I don't like it. It doesn't look good. The other thing too is the hue. The hue looks fine if, like, let's say for example, we take, let's take our red. Okay, here we go. If we take the red and then we have the hue look where red, and it gets to like dark red, black, like the Falcons. Where is it? Yeah, this kind of stuff. Like if the Phillies went for that look for the top of their jersey, I think that looked pretty dope because red is one of their colors. Hell, I'd even take, considering yeah, I don't know. This look is a classic look too. The cream off-white egg whites. White pinstripes look good. Everybody looks good in pinstripes. Like it's a baseball staple. Hold on. Are these? See, they're not even. Yeah, they're not even the same blue as that blue. See, I don't know. I don't know. I'm like, maybe too much blue is a bad thing. If they did a, see this dark blue, if they did a full jersey of this and had the letterings be red, maybe now we're talking a little more. I don't know. Or this, like these, like where did purple come from? These, I thought these looked tight. These look super sick. They got the bridge on the shoulders. But like purple, like purple's not their color. Never has been. Hell, even these look better. But a little bit. Let's not get carried away. Yeah. If I did connect jerseys and city jerseys and whatnot, like if they got rid of, because you know what this looks like actually, Phoenix Suns. This is the Phoenix Suns jerseys. Where, let's take the sunset, like the purple, yellow, orange hue color and stuff. Let's all gradiate it together. If the Diamondbacks, don't even get me started on the Diamondbacks. If the Diamondbacks did kind of the same thing and did their own version of the Valley jerseys that the Suns do, I'd get behind that. Like the Serpientes jerseys look tight, like they look so sick. But the when they do the blue and the purple, it looks fine. It's when they try to mesh the red in there where it looks super bad. Yes, right here. This looks awful. This would look so much better if instead of blue it was purple. That'd look a little better. Classic. These look great. These look great. And then in turn, where is it? See how much better that kind of looks? As well as those jerseys look. These jerseys look great. And not only those, these jerseys look great as well with the sand yellow, black, and the red. That looks great. But then when we mix it, it's an eyesore. These ones are kind of tight, not gonna lie. Again, that's just my opinion. These are not facts. All right. Yep, that's my thoughts about baseball jerseys. Is when you have your color palette, stay in your color palette. This is where you are. I need you right here. I don't want to see none of this. All right. Let's go to the NHL. Red Wings. Ooh. Staying in the fight. Staying in the fight. Let's see. Because I saw the Penguins won today, clinched a spot in the playoffs. They got that Philly. This is gonna feed families here, dude. Where do we have a? Hold on. Oh, the Caps are on the bubble. Yeah, they're not getting in, which is so freaking crazy. I had them in. I had them in the postseason, and they're not even. They're like, nah, we don't want to go. Red Wings. Red Wings got to win a couple more, and they need help too. Because Boston, I think Boston's a lock to get in. And it's like this every year. Detroit's always sitting there. Detroit, Washington, New York Islanders, and the Penguins, for the last 5 years, have all been fighting and battling in these spots right here. Like, oh, who gets the final spot? Because, believe it or not, Washington was... Yeah, they weren't good a couple years ago. Then we go down here. Oh, Preds are still in the fight. Well, actually, no, they're not. No, because these guys are a lock to get in the playoffs. There's no way they don't. Because if we have a wild card team here with 90, yeah. Maybe. Nobody in the Pacific wants to win the division. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of the 8. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's one of those two. Who do the Kings play? Kings play the Predators? Anytime soon? No. No. They do not. I do not. Alright. NHL Playoff Watch. Clinching scenarios on 14-game Thursday. And this was... File your taxes! Hey, I hope you guys remember. File your freaking taxes. If your ads haven't said enough, you should file your taxes. Alright, Islanders Okay, did see this one. This was DeBoer's first game coaching, first game back. Helped the Islanders get a win, 5-3. They're still kind of in the playoff. I'll be honest. I don't think they make the postseason. Sabres win 5-0. Okay. Heard about this one. Yeah, because I was too busy watching the college kids, so I didn't watch any of these games. Stars beat the Wild 5-4. Hey, let's go to a game cast here. Let's go look a little bit. Let's go. Gustafsson was on net. Onger was on net. See, I figured starting goalies would be playing tonight. Who are 3-1. Ooh, Minnesota. Mikko Rantanen and Jason Robertson. Yep. The fellows that need to show up big in the postseason did in the third period. Look at that. See, this, I'm going to be 1,000% transparent. The way I look at this series and how this went is it tells me, okay, if like this has any correlation to what, because I'm going to be honest, I think Dallas is going to win the series, no matter who has home ice, who has away ice. Like my prediction right now, a week in advance, Dallas is winning the series. Now, what this is kind of showing me is Minnesota cannot hold on to a lead, and maybe Minnesota fans, let me know in the comments. Maybe it's always been like that all season, where yeah, Minnesota will play good, we'll get off to a hot start, and then we can't hold the lead. You ask any Penguins fan, yeah, we remember what that was like in 23, 24, 21, where, holy hell, we were playing phenomenal. We have a 4-2 lead, and then look at that, we melt down in the third period and we lose. And I'm really thinking if we're on the doorstep of the playoffs and you have a 3-1 lead around the middle part, because 6 minutes into the second period, even off 2 power play, yeah, ooh, that's not a good. Okay, notice this: power play. That's not so full 5-on-5 hockey. Only 1 goal. That's not good to look at. Versus full strength. This could be. No, I think it would have told me if it was an empty netter. It would say, right? Yeah, I would say. It would say if it was an empty netter. So, anyways, any other scores stand out? I think no way, the Buffalo Sabres are back up at the top. Last time I checked, Tampa was the number 1, but maybe didn't they lose to Montreal? Snuck the 2. Because I saw that Caulfield netted his 50th. Damn, they are seriously back. See, this is why I think. Here, hold on. Let's go to NHL playoffs. Started today. This is why I seriously, and I'm going to say this 1,000 more times. This is why I'm convinced that I think the Cup could go to anybody, because you have Colorado getting the President's Trophy, where it's like, oh, there you go, boom, you're not making the Cup. So boom, there's Colorado out. A wild card team, boom, you're out. Where's the other wild card team? Boom, there you go. Edmonton has Draisaitl injured, boom, they're out. So these 2 are out. This quadrant's out, and then it's between Vegas and Anaheim. What do you really think Anaheim's winning the Cup? No, they're done. So then it turns into Vegas against Dallas or Minnesota, and it's like, well, Dallas right now has a lot of injured guys that, are they going to be back for the playoffs? Are they going to be healthy and ready to go? So it's like, they're not ready. So you have Minnesota versus Vegas. Then it's like, well, which team's more experienced? Who's going to get gritty? Who's going to, really dig in a best of 7 playoff series and get those gritty, home wins, but then also go win on the road when you're down 2-1 in a series. I would lean Vegas's way because, Vegas is Vegas, and I think Vegas has a little bit of a better goalkeeping and defense and, a lot more stars on their team. So it's like, boom, there's Vegas. So out of all of the West, there's one team, Vegas. But that's if, Vegas's blemish could be, well, you sent your coach out of town, a week ago or something? No, not even that. Like, it's been like 3 days. But, what Stanley Cup champion has ever won the cup after firing their coach like 3 days before? Oh, none? So, okay, I guess the West isn't winning it. Let's go to the East. Well, it's probably not going to be either wild card team. So, there, you're out. Carolina probably will get far, and thankfully enough, they don't have to play the Rangers or the Panthers because that's who's ended their season the last 3 straight seasons. And so, you have that, but it's like, oh, you're also missing defensive veteran presence, and some of your guys don't play gritty when they need to in the playoffs, so, okay, you're done. Tampa Bay, apparently they're just free-falling out of the Atlantic, so they're done. Buffalo's hasn't won a playoff series in the last 20 years, so you're done. Boston, don't even get me started. And then Montreal, no. So then now we're down to Pittsburgh and the Flyers. Flyers are the hottest team in hockey right now, but can the Flyers get past the Penguins? Maybe. Probably not. But even if Philly gets past, the Pittsburgh Penguins, can they beat Carolina? Maybe. Freaking maybe. So now it kind of makes me go, okay, whoever wins this series probably goes to the Stanley Cup. I don't know. But the Penguins aren't winning the Stanley Cup because of old age, and their defense is... We might have the star power on offense, but, okay, if Sid's having a bad game or Gino's having a bad game, Skinner's not going to be able to stop 40 shots a night, so Pittsburgh's out. Like, do you see... I mean, there's not one team like the Panthers or Tampa when Tampa was in their heyday, or Boston when Boston... Like, there's not a team that is lingering where it's like, okay, they are clearly head and shoulders above everybody else. And even when the Bruins were head and shoulders above everybody else, they still lost to the Panthers. So, Colorado, no matter how many games they won or points, I've seen Bruins, I've seen Rangers, I've seen Capitals, I've seen all these teams in back-to-back-to-back years. They'll get to the second round or the third round, and now, do I think the Kings can beat the Avalanche? No, absolutely not. The Kings have had 4 straight early losses because, they'll get up 2-0 in a series against Edmonton, and then, we lost our game plan in Game 3, and then just they'll get reverse sweeps or something. Like, this is why I feel that I've kind of done a pro and cons, and what is a hater's guide, like urinating tree. I just did a urinating tree hater's guide in like 5 minutes for every single team, and like all of that is why I'm convinced that it's anybody's cup to win this year. But if I'm being real, I'd lean more towards Carolina. I'd lean Colorado, and I'd lean, don't make me hate it, but Minnesota, just because, I don't know, like Carolina and Dallas, dude, they have been on the doorstep the last handful of years. And then if we have a wacky one where, and I've said it before, you get the Ducks. You have the Ducks catch fire. Because I'll say this: if the Ducks get past Vegas, they're going to the Western Conference Final. Edmonton's not beating them. Utah's not beating them. No, if the Ducks can, they're going to have to steal at least 2 on the road. But again, Buffalo and Anaheim would be my long shot, craziest prediction for a Stanley Cup final. But I don't like it. Not one bit. Not one bit. Oh my gosh, it's 11 o'clock, people. See, this is what happens when college guys play till freaking 11 o'clock, excuse me, and go to double overtime, because the game started at like 6, and now 5.5 hours later, I was like, oh, look at that. So, shocked by this. I didn't know the Canadians were that far back to reach in Tampa, because these two have been fighting over the top. Because remember about a week ago, 2-3 weeks ago, when Buffalo and Tampa scored like 12 goals in that 8-7 game, phenomenal. And there was like 20 brawls. That's when Buffalo took the lead. And again, like, you win the Atlantic, you win your division, great, phenomenal. Let me go look. I don't think the Sabres last Sabres playoff appearance. Dude. $20 years? Eesh. I don't like that. And I especially don't like, too, that... Wait a minute. Was it this game? Was it this? Which game? It was probably the Red Wings game that I saw. No, it was this Bruins one. This Bruins one, I was talking about, the Sabres and the Bruins are going to meet up, which, sure enough. And then, look how that game went. And this was in Buffalo. So I'm thinking Buffalo could steal at least 1 or 2. Now, in turn, I also think Buffalo could probably even the odds, and we could be leaving Game 4 2 apiece, or we could at least be heading into Game 5 where it's 3-1, but it still feels like Buffalo has a chance to get back into the series because it's going back to Buffalo. But yeah. All right, people. Let me see. I don't got any. We already made our jokes about the NFL and the AJ Brown trade. We already made our jokes about potential probing like an alien. Get your fingers out. Of NFL. Am I missing rugby? We never talk about rugby. NASCAR. I already talked about the Frozen Four. Yeah, I think we've literally gone over all the bases. Yeah, we have gone over all the bases. Oh. You're gonna see it. You're gonna see it. I'm thinking here, let me sprinkle a little nugget for you guys. Okay. I have right here. So this is my mock draft 1.0. I have, as you guys can see, Raiders, Mendoza, Cardinals, Ty Simpson, Washington getting Malachi Lemon. Who are some other big names here? Like the Panthers getting Casey Concepcion. But I was thinking about doing a hot takes video where, like, scorching hot takes where, like, I look at, QB prospects here. I'm going to be real. I only think 3 quarterbacks are getting drafted, and I think it's going to be Mendoza, Simpson, and Beck. I will be honest. Like, I think all the other guys probably go undrafted. That's kind of a hot take, but one of that of itself is a hot take. But like the hot take that I was thinking of, which I'll have to think about it, but I would say something like hot take: the Kansas City Chiefs draft. Oh gosh, not Nussmeyer. Let me go look. Let's go look at some position rankings, quarterbacks. Move. Out of the way. No. Oh, that's a great one. Oh, that's a great one. Okay. Hot take. Hot take. The Kansas City Chiefs draft Sawyer Robinson from Baylor. That'd be an extremely hot take. Because what? Because A, why would the Chiefs need to draft a quarterback? Because they have Mahomes, but they also brought Justin Fields. But it's like they draft him, but then he doesn't work out in Kansas City, and then look at that, he shipped off to New Orleans, he shipped off to Miami, and then it's like boom, there we go. Because I think, if here's the quickest 30-second video that I won't make, but I think Mendoza, Simpson, Beck. No, probably not. If Pavia gets drafted, he'll get drafted real late, like Dylan Gabriel or Shador. Hot take: he's probably going to get drafted. Because you know how some GMs are, where it's like, oh, look at, this kid named Bailey Zappi broke Joe Burrow's record. Where's he from? Oh, Western Kentucky? Yeah, let's go use our 6th round pick on him. That's how I feel they'd approach something like that. Because again, you look at UConn football, UConn's not known as a football school. They're known for basketball. So I would not be surprised if he gets drafted over Hayes King, Baron Morton, Kyron Drones. I've done this before. I don't even need to go to the 3rd page. Because there's only 3 guys there. It'd be different. Like, oh boy, when we scroll linemen and receivers, there's like 10 pages. It's ridiculous. But like, yeah, I would think maybe one or 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6. Maybe 6 quarterbacks get drafted. Maybe. Because the other thing, too, is of all the teams in the NFL, not like the Bills don't need a quarterback. So why would the Bills be wasting a draft pick on a quarterback? Why would the Steelers? Why would Titans? Titans took the number 1 overall pick last year, and they got Cam Ward. Why would they be drafting a quarterback? Even if it's the 7th round, Mr. Irrelevant, last pick. If Diego Pavia is the only one there, like, they're still not going to draft him. You know what I mean? Like, I think we kind of get mixed and lost in, like, oh, there's 30 quarterbacks this draft. Majority of them should probably get drafted because they're pretty decent, in the, college. But I just, it's never like that. Like, freaking, DTR is playing on one of the UFL teams right now, and he was part of the 24 draft, I think, with like Caleb Williams, Michael Penix Jr., 2 quick years and then gone. He was talk of the town last year during the trade stuff because he was with the Kenny Pickett trade, and who else was packaged in that deal? Was McKee? I don't know. Like, even McKee, one of the Eagles' backups, like, Who knows about him? Who knows about, like, because they also drafted McCord as well. So, like, I don't, I don't know. I don't know. I would, I believe, I believe their chances of seeing the field would be a little bit greater if, like, tensions are high with Philadelphia versus nobody's talking about locker room quarrels with Trevor Lawrence or Baker Mayfield or anything like that. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't think Hurts is going to get benched this year. I don't. I think Jason Kelsey said it best. When the Eagles start winning, all those distractions are going to go away. And we're also what? We've also been 1 month without football. We're 7 months, 5, my bad. We're about 5 months away from kickoff. Like, this is all the offseason is going. You know what I saw in Arizona? I saw these two people hanging out in a balcony, dancing and holding hands. It's going to be a fun video to make. Let me see if I got anything else. Oh, my music cut out. Sorry, guys. I think we should end the stream here. I got nothing else. We already know about the NBA playoff seedings. They haven't changed. Hockey's been switching up a little bit. This series, I hope this series stays the way it does because this would be very fun. This series, and yeah, this series too. I think these series would all be fun because I'll be honest, Utah's not beating Edmonton. There's no way. Well, maybe. McDavid's been playing actually pretty good lately. But, I don't know. I would like this because this is a rematch. This would be a fun series, but I'd eye this one the most. This one looks fun. Because, well, it's the last time. Here. Looks actually... 2018. Okay. First round. Yeah, I do. Holy frick, dude. I remember this. Yeah, we absolutely, yeah. Didn't we, and then we lost to the Capitals in the second round. But then the Capitals ended up going and winning the Stanley Cup final. (2018), 2012, 2009. I think this was the year. It was either 12 or 09 when Sidney Crosby was like, "I don't like those guys." I think one of those years was the infamous year. Which, again, for rivalry purposes, if these two play each other, it just revamps the rivalry right back up. And the other thing too, when you look at the NHL, I love this too, how we already got the draft picks in order. Because again, the other thing too is these aren't set in stone. Nobody saw the Jaguars trading up to go get Travis Hunter. So we could see something where I've made a joke about it in my mock drafts where, where's the Vikings pick? Right here, pick 18, where the Vikings could just jump up here and switch with the Jets or the Titans or something and be like, we want Caleb Downs, damn it. You know, because Harrison Smith retired and stuff. So I don't know. I could see who would get trigger fingers and jump early. I could see, no, not the Bears, not the Browns either. Yeah, funny enough, I could maybe the Panthers. I could see because Steelers, they're not going to jump. No, because who they want is going to be sitting there. It's probably going to be a lineman, but I don't think the Eagles would make a jump or the Chargers. But like the Panthers, the Vikings, the Lions, I could see the Lions jumping. I could see. But then when we get to about the 10th pick, like everybody in front, like it, why would the Dolphins give up future draft picks to jump from 11 to 4 or 5? Like that, no. It'd be, the cutoff would be around like pick 17-ish. Where, yeah, Seahawks aren't wasting any time to try to trade up. Same with the Patriots. These guys are pretty locked, you know what I mean? So, anyways. Oh, damn, I had an idea, but I just lost my train of thought. I was going to show you guys something. I can't remember what it was. Oh, no. Maybe I got to... It was about this and the draft picks changing. One of my hot takes, too, was... yeah, I was thinking about doing a hot take for... I might do for each team. I don't know, or I might just do hot take overall and have it be like, hey, my hot take is I only think 3 quarterbacks are going to get drafted. So that is a hot take. Or, hey, hot take, I think Jordan Tyson slips in the draft. Boom, there's another hot take. Probably going to do a video on that because there's one quarterback that I'm thinking about, but I don't want to spoil it. Because it's why I wanted to make the video. And I don't want to spoil the quarterback, and I don't want to spoil the team either, because there's a reason. Like they correlate. Because like if I say, hey, spoiler alert, I think the Bucks are gonna go get some linemen. That's not a hot take. It's hot takes would be like if someone last year said, hey, I think there might be a team that trades up to get in the top 5, and it's like boom. Look, the Jags traded up and they went and got Travis Hunter. Another hot take would be, but I don't see it happening. Fernando Mendoza doesn't go to the Raiders, because that'd be really interesting, considering like he's not going to the draft, and we know why he's not going to the draft. Like the amount of, not respect, but like all the number 1 picks who haven't gone to the draft, like they knew they were the number 1 and they just decided to stay home. But like, if he knows he was going to the Raiders and he's like, I'll just stay home, like it just seems pretty locked. Like, okay, he's probably going to be a Raider. And like, I think those interviews would be different, because yeah, do I think the Arizona Cardinals or the Titans or the Browns, did any of them interview with Mendoza? Absolutely not. I think the Jets and the Raiders are probably the only 2 teams that interviewed with Mendoza. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders were the only ones where they're getting off the phone being like, save your time, New York, because we're not letting him go. Or, hot take, the Raiders, who would the Raiders partner up with to just be petty against... Who? Let me look at Raiders rivalry teams. Because, yeah, Kansas City, Denver, and the Chargers. Because I'm thinking, like, who could the Raiders, if the who... Jets rivals are the Patriots, the Dolphins, and the Bills. Giants. Because I'm trying to think, like, who... I know they're not good with the 49ers. Didn't they have a little rivalry with that? Yeah, there it is. Or the Steelers. Seahawks. Okay. Because I'm trying to think of, like, where could we have, like, a rivalry between some of the teams where the Raiders hold on to the number 1 pick on purpose and then switch, like last second with. I mean, for example, Rams and Chargers, they share the same home stadium, so it's like, oh, we were holding on to that number one pick, and we'll switch with you guys, so you guys can have Mendoza. Like that would be a hot take for if Mendoza didn't go to the Raiders, but I think he's going to the Raiders. And if he doesn't go to the Raiders, then he'll go to the Jets. 4 years later, he'll ask for a trade because, oh, look at that, the Jets would still suck. So, all right, that's enough out of me. That's enough out of me. I'm going to quit rambling. I thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. This is fun. This is super fun. So, here we are going to do... Let's go on the shorts end. We're going to have a quick out, guys, though. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all the likes. We'll see you guys in the next one. Boom, baby. Holy. 60 views. There we go. Sweet. That's fun. Thanks, guys. And that there. I forgot that. I forgot. He was not the head coach. Damn, if he was the head... I think it'd be different, though. I really think this would be different, though. Because I don't think Mendoza would be a bust. I don't. Yeah, what NFL teams would help other NFL teams to be like, we'll box out this pick for you? Which, again, would be, like, shady as hell. And so many people would get so freaking pissed. They'd be like, oh, what the hell? Or it's like, there's a commonality of, like, the Chargers and the Raiders both together. We hate the Chiefs so much. So we're going to... Because, like, one of the players, I don't know if it was, like, an Eagles player or something. Like, that is what happened. Like, the pettiness of... Yeah, we'll just trade you our draft pick. And so that, like, I think it was, like, the Eagles and the Giants doing something so that they could hop over the Cowboys in a pick because they heard through the grapevine, oh, hey, we want to go get this guy. And so then they're like, hey, will you help us out? And it's like, of course. And then they ended up jumping Dallas and stealing the dude. Like, that happens all the time. And it'd be a hot take to... see someone steal Mendoza, but I just, dude, if the Raiders are as bad as they are, and because Cousins is only going to take you so far. I'm going to look at it how it is. Kirk Cousins has one playoff win. If the Raiders are the away team playing the Broncos in the wild card, if the Raiders are the away team playing the Texans, the Patriots, the Bills, I think we know who's going to win that game. But I just, I think there's, you got the number one pick, you got to go get a quarterback. And that's usually how it is. Like, only we had the 22 year where there wasn't a QB, because again, that QB class is very, I kind of have a feeling this QB class, it could compare to the 22 QB class. It probably could, just because nobody... I don't feel like people are talking about this QB class as much. Versus, we wind the clocks back 2 years. People were convincing us Drake May was going to go number one overall to the Bears, or Jaden Daniels. People were also talking about McCarthy not being in the first round, and it was like, everybody relax, because it was funny because Penix, McCarthy, all like 6 quarterbacks were picked in the top 10 picks or whatever, and then we had to go 100 plus picks down to the 4th or 5th round before the next quarterback was picked. It was so funny, and it's like, yeah, that is what happens on draft night, where if we're going to take a run where, okay, we're going to go get quarterbacks and teams are going to go get their QBs, then everybody starts getting a quarterback. And that I did that in my mock draft where I said, you know what, there's going to be some receivers that hop off the board. And because they're hopping off the board, they're all going to start to go, oh, they got a wide receiver. We got to go get a wide receiver. But yeah, man, but it's almost midnight. So we're going to end the stream here, though. I thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for listening to me ramble. Thank you for all the subs lately. Let's keep this going, huh? Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, because Nussmeier might get drafted. I'm not gonna lie, he might get drafted because I think teams like the Vikings. Maybe we can throw this in there with the hot takes. Teams like the Vikings, where people are talking about McCarthy's a bum, he shouldn't be there anymore, and then you got Kyler Murray as well, where people are like, okay, with teams like that, I could see them going after a quarterback. I really could. Because where's the competition? You know what I mean? I would also say, in turn, Miami, because until it happens, I don't know if Ewers can be the number one guy. Because, I mean, they paid Malik Willis all that money. Do I think Quinn Ewers has the chance to be the starter? Probably not. I don't know. Do I think he could be a starter in the NFL? Absolutely. Look at what he did with Texas. The reason why Texas is back and on the map is because of a competent quarterback. Go look at some of my videos. I've made that statement before where Oklahoma and Texas can be in those conversations like Georgia, like Bama, if they have a competent quarterback. Because what has happened in the past is Oklahoma has gotten really good, and it's like, oh, like the years that Oklahoma was very successful, it's because they had a Heisman winner in Kyler Murray or Baker Mayfield, or it just the hype of, oh, this quarterback's going to be great, Texas is going to be phenomenal this year, and then you turn around and win. Well, Texas only won 6 games. It's like, okay. So, anyways, I might make a video on that too, like, because there's a Let me drop a little another nugget for you guys. There has been a talk around town lately on how the Big Ten rules college sports now and how the SEC reign is over. My only smart ass retort to that is, well, the SEC never reigned in college basketball to begin with. Because if you actually look at it, it's been split between the Big East and the ACC. So you said the Big East and the ACC wrong. Because just because Florida from the SEC won it 1 year, and then, oh, look at that. You have a Big Ten team winning it this year. And then you have 3 years in a row where Michigan, which again, they've already put an asterisk on it because cheating allegations, and then you got Ohio State, and then people complaining about them not being seeded correctly. And then you got Indiana. We have 3 straight champions, and then all of a sudden we've forgotten. And, oh, well, now because everybody's getting paid, the SEC isn't as good anymore. Huh? Dude, it took all of frickin' the Miami game for them to beat Ole Miss. What are we talking about here? We're 2 or 3 plays away from Ole Miss playing in the national championship against Indiana. Hello? What are we talking about here? So, I still think the staple of college football is you got to look at what the SEC was doing in the 2010s. It's college football right there. The Cam Newtons, the Tim Tebows, the Joe Burrows. That is college football. And then I also wanted to make another video about which which national championship means more to Michigan people, the football one or the basketball one. And it's like, oh, this is the easiest question ever because it's the football one, obviously, duh. But I think the context to it more would expand to the reason why the football one matters more is because they built to it by getting their asses beat and blown out in the Orange Bowl against Georgia in 21, coming up just short and getting upset by the underdog TCU in 22, and then bam, finally getting past Ohio State, getting past Alabama in the Rose Bowl, and beating Washington. I would look and say, yeah, that national championship way is probably a little bit heavier than the basketball one because I know we saw the Cadeau news on how he's coming back, but Mara's probably going to go to the league, get drafted. Yaxel's going to get drafted. Like, and with their championship too, and like the NIL portal, it's like roster's going to flip. All 5 of their starters were not the same 5 starters from the year before. So, like hell, dude, the Reed played for Michigan for 2 years and then UConn for 2. Like, you see what I mean? So, yeah. But I don't think unless AJ DeBonsta, Yaxel comes back. Unless all 5 of their starting 5 come back, and Boozer hits the portal, but like, why would Boozer, and why would AJ DeBonsta? Why would they leave BYU and Duke to come to Michigan? Like, no. But like, unless Michigan builds a super team, no, they're not going back to back because these same talking points are what we had on Florida last year, and be like, yeah, Florida's going to go back to back because, you know, when they won it back in 2007, they went back to back as well. Come on. What are we talking? What are we talking about here? So, all right. I'm going to quit yapping because we're almost at the bewitching hour of midnight. So, I thank you guys for watching, though. This was super fun. Be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe, guys. This is a very fun stream, but I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.